So, like Lamar Jackson, he wants a 6-year deal at like $216 million. I like this deal much better. So he's excited to stay with the team. I'm super happy about that. That's really cool. Welcome into tipsforgamers.com, home of pro gamers dedicated to making the game work for you. Our motto is simple. Don't just play the game, own the game. And today we're going to show you how to get a 99 overall team by utilizing our trade methods with our practice squad secrets. After this video, you will be able to trade for guys like Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Lamar Jackson, and many others, and then be able to sign them at the end of the year for 7-year deals at $3.85 million with no guaranteed signing bonus, meaning you won't owe them any money at all. Your team will be better than most MUT teams. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the ride. We would also like to add, for those of you guys who want a more realistic experience, understand that we are only giving you the key and you guys could make it how you guys want. It's up to you guys on how realistic you want to make it. You could still do this method and still sign really realistic deals. The players will accept it. You can make them favorable for the player and for the team at the same time. Just know we're here to give you guys the key, and it's up to you guys how you build your Madden world. And you guys know the drill. Leave us a like and a comment down below to show support for our company and our YouTube channel. If you don't know what to say down below, just type in squinching, something like that. Make sure to visit our website after the video is over, guys, to join our Madden group and to check out other sweet and sexy Madden content or other gaming content as well. And if you want to look like a saucy beast, make sure to get merched up, because as you all know, it's nothing personal, baby. It's just business. So for a player to be able to make it onto your practice squad, the player has to be a 2-year pro or less. If he's a 3-year pro, it will not work. Now, what's beautiful about the system at which Madden created here, there's a lot of room for flaws, which means that I could do it for any player who is a 2-year pro by definition. I could do this with Lamar Jackson. I can do this with Henry Ruggs, Hollywood Brown, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Quentin Nelson, Allen. On the Washington football team, Rashaan Gary, Devin White, J.C. Jackson, Trayvon Mullen, Isaiah Simmons, and the list goes on. You can also do this after every single draft. So you could keep this going, what we're going to show you today, you could keep this going for eternity. In fact, you'd have so many good guys that your third stringer could end up being a 99 overall, and I'm not even kidding you the slightest. So I hate to give up my first round pick of this year, however, it is going to pay off through and through. So I'm picking up Jonathan Taylor and Quentin Nelson because I'm going to be applying this method for both these guys. I'm going to get these guys for a really long time for really cheap. So it's well worth it. In Agba, as much as I don't want to get rid of him, it's definitely worth it because I'm going to replace him with Chase Young or Nick Bosa, because I'm going after both those guys. The next guy I'm going after is Daron Payne. He's a guy I'm going to utilize in this technique as well. He's really easy to get. You trade him 2 wide receivers that show green interest and a halfback that shows green interest, and then you can even get some picks back. Another guy on our list that we just checked off is Rashaan Gary. Gary is extremely easy to trade for, and he ends up turning into a beast if you utilize him correctly and he fits your scheme. He is a power rusher, so make sure you put him in a power rushing situation. You could put him at the left end or right end, and he ends up being really good. He'll get double-digit sacks in most occasions, unless he's competing with guys like Chase Young and Nick Bosa. Then obviously his sacks are to go down. However, this is a guy we highly recommend picking up. So we're going to be utilizing Cole Beasley's overall and easy tradability to use in our SAT or our stack and trade method. It's on our site, and we also have videos on this method as well. They'll be in the link in the description below. So we're going to be utilizing him to get us Henry Ruggs III. We are going to use Cole Beasley and stack him onto the Raiders to get Henry Ruggs, but in doing that, we also want to get one of our other players on this list. We want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so we want to get Trayvon Mullen in this trade as well. He's very easy to trade for, and in fact, you could get him most of the time for using some halfbacks and things like that. But since we're giving him Cole Beasley, we might as well knock him off the list and bring him on our team as well. So now that we stacked on Cole Beasley, Henry Ruggs III is able to be traded for, and you do not want to use D tackles. It looks like you want to use D tackles because of their team needs. However, it is a trick. They like left outside linebackers and free safeties, and their contracts are somewhat low, and that's why we had to trade for good to clear up some cap room. We had to throw in a second-round pick, but it all worked out well. Another guy on our list that we want to pick up is Cole Kmet. Now, one thing to know about Cole Kmet is he's better in simulation than he is in user because his speed is just not there. So if you want to use him in simulation, it is perfect to do so, and he is a possession style tight end. However, you can work him up into that vertical threat. It takes some time. For a long time, he's going to be a possession. However, by the time he is up on his contract, or 3 years from now, you will be able to get him to an 85 overall with standard XP settings. So if you have it set a little bit higher, it will obviously be even quicker. So now we're bringing on Hollywood Brown. He's going to be another guy that's going to make this list. And the beautiful part about him is he's incredibly easy to trade for. That's a next year's third-round pick, a center we don't want, and a right guard we don't want. And we had to use the SAT. Now, if you guys want to know how we did this, we are going to have this on our site. We can't show you everything in the videos. An absolute perfect cornerback to use for this as well is J.C. Jackson on the Patriots. Because of the fact he's so easy to trade for, it's incredible. You can get him with a tight end from the free agency or a backup one you have on your team. Now, when you hit week 4 of the preseason, you are now able to move players to your practice squad. Now, when you move players to your practice squad, what happens is that cuts them out of their contract and resets their contract in a practice squad format. And then what you can do is sign them back onto your team. And this is very important that you do this because it changes the way the CPU looks at these players. Now, in most leagues, most people have to where you can't steal other people's practice squad players. So if you do this, even though your players show up on the free agency, no one can steal them. Even if that is not in your league, all you have to do is be quick with how you're doing this, and we will show you exactly how to be incredibly fast. We used to show you to just release them to free agency and then pick them back up. This way is much better because you have much quicker control on bringing them back onto your team. So what I would do to make this as quick as possible so I don't get my players stolen is I would do them one in a row. I would move him to practice squad like you can see here. And then what I would do is I'd scroll up to another team, scroll down, and then I'd go to my practice squad. You see Jonathan Taylor there. And then what I would do is I'd sign from practice squad. Very quick. He's not on free agency for a long time. So I'm going to do this with all of my players that I just brought on. Once again, I will do this with Marquise Brown. I'm only going to show this one more time, but I'll move him to practice squad. You can see it resets his contract, move up, move back down. He's not there. Go to practice squad. Here he is. Yay, so exciting. And I sign him. Now, I signed him to a 1.46 million. So anytime you do this, you're signing him to basically free agency cost. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive for your first few years. But once you get these contracts settled in, you are going to have an absolute massive amount of money to be able to do this with. And you could do this on a large scale. So every year that you move forward, you will have more money to do this with. And your team will even be better than it was the last year. And we almost forgot the man of the hour, Mr. Devin White. We're going to do this with him as well. He's actually pretty easy to trade for. I didn't have to give up that first round pick. I could have given up a second, but I was lazy and I don't care about that first round pick anyways. So yeah, we're here where we're at, and he's going to turn out to be a monster. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after Lamar Jackson. Now you can do this with any quarterback you want. It's the same process. So for those of you guys who are commenting saying our video doesn't work, you are doing something wrong. It is you. It's something you're doing. I don't know what it is, but here is the proof. I'm going to trade them Taylor for a left tackle. Now that I just stacked Taylor onto the team, and they have Lamar Jackson there. You can see Taylor's there. Now I'm going to go and offer him 3 quarterbacks for a 7th round pick. Make sure you have 1 point man. And then what you're going to see is the team needs pops, and Lamar is gone. Now they have Dwayne Haskins. Now for Joey Bosa, or Nick Bosa, sorry Bosa, love you by the way, OH. With that being said, I'm going to get him released as well. And remember, it doesn't work if the player's injured. So if the player's injured, it doesn't work. Turn off injuries for Christ's sake until week 1, then turn them back on. But I'm trading 3 right ends from the free agency. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trade them to the 49ers. And then all of a sudden you'll see right end is on their team needs, and he is gone. He's gone-amundo. He is no longer on the team. They have these 3 guys, and he is waiting for us on the free agency. And the same thing goes for Chase Young. We're going to offer 3 right ends for a 7th round pick. Boom, slam. Thank you, man. Boom. And then he is now gone. He's no longer on the team. He's gone. He's gone forever. So after you used the SAR, and these guys are on free agency, this is very, very important that you guys do not mess this up and you pay very close attention. Because if you do not do this correctly, you will not be able to sign these guys. You will have contract issues and it will be extremely painful. So what you're going to do is I would grab Lamar Jackson here, and instead of signing him to active roster, I need to sign him to the practice squad. So you can see I signed him to the practice squad. This is very important. If you sign him first and then try to sign him to the practice squad, you're going to owe him the money that you already spent here, and it's just not going to work. So sign to practice squad. Make sure you do this, because if not, you're going to have serious trouble signing these guys. Next here, sign to practice squad. All right, so now I'm back onto my practice squad, and what I'm going to do now is sign these guys, so sign them from practice squad. Now I can sign them, because if you do this the opposite way, you're stuck with the contract that you already paid them, and you have to come up with 30, basically every time. So for example here, if I try to sign Chase Young, right? If I sign him from practice squad, it's a 1-year deal for $8.28 million. If I sign him on the free agency, I have to sign him twice to that amount. It's hard to explain, but just trust me, guys. Follow how I'm doing this, or you will be SOL. Also, another big thing we want to mention too is if you guys have any questions with the SAR, we have an SAR FAQ. It will be in the link in the description below. That will walk you through all kinds of questions that we get from people asking. Some questions are crazy, but most of them are pretty good, and we want to help you guys do all of the magical stuff that you can do in this Madden realm. So make sure if you have questions, go look at the FAQ that we have in the link in the description below. You can find it on our site. It will help you quite a bit, guys. Chances are your question's on there and you'll have it answered. So here's our team that we did it with. We ended up grabbing one more guy. We ended up grabbing Isaiah Simmons, and we did it with Isaiah Simmons as well. I had a little bit more money than I thought I did. I structured the contracts pretty good. So Lamar Jackson, we have Lamar Jackson on. We have Jonathan Taylor. We have Marquise Brown. We have Henry Ruggs III. Cole Kmet. Quentin Nelson. We have Nick Bosa. And we got our boy Chase Young. On top of that, we have Payne, who is a phenomenal D-tackle. We have Rashaan Gary, Devin White, J.C. Jackson, and Trayvon Mullen, along with Isaiah Simmons. And we're going to be able to sign these guys to literally insane deals at the end of the year. You guys will see. We're not going to upgrade them. We're going to put them in starting roles, but we're not going to spend any upgrade points whatsoever. So right after the Super Bowl, you will get to the re-sign period where you have to negotiate contracts with all of the players that you just did this with. Quentin Nelson, all of these guys. Now, it's up to you guys how bad you want to cheat this, because I know there's certain people screaming, "Oh my God, how dare you?" Here's the thing. It's up to you. If you want to cheat really bad, then cheat really bad. If you don't, then don't. You know, make it as favorable as you can. But like this, I'm going to offer him a 7-year deal. Exactly the offer I was hoping to get. We'll see you next season. Yeah, I'm happy as hell too. So like Lamar Jackson, he wants a 6-year deal at like $216 million. I like this deal much better. So he's excited to stay with the team. I'm super happy about that. That's really cool. So like Nick Bosa, he wants a 5-year deal at 107 million. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say here's 7 years for, 3.85 million. And like, I'm just going to go down the list and just keep offering all these guys the same deal. Once again, another one here. He wanted a 3-year deal. I said, no, here's the 7-year deal. It's much better. Trust me, just squint. Same here with Chase Young. We're going to offer him the same deal. Now, what's happening here is the CPU is still recognizing these guys because of what we did. They're still recognizing these guys as practice squad players. So the CPU can't get over that, regardless of their overall, regardless of how good they are. The CPU still thinks of them as practice squad players. So let's look over the contracts here. And for those of you guys who thought I cleared my cap penalty, you are not correct. I did not clear my cap penalty this entire time. I did it straight up, and I still have $32 million in cap penalties, which is fantastic because I have $75 million in cap space. So imagine if I continue to do this for multiple years. What's beautiful is I don't owe these guys any money. So if I just don't like their performance, I could trade them away at any time. I mean, I don't owe these guys literally any money whatsoever. I mean, if we look at our top guys here, it's a lot of 7-year deals at 3.85 million. Let's say I don't like the guys who are already on my team. I could easily take a $31 million cap hit, no questions asked. Any of these guys I don't like, let's say you have a really expensive quarterback, like you're on the Bears and you just don't want to afford Nick Foles' contract anymore, boom, gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So the more you do this, the more deadly it's going to be. There's no question about it. You could end up getting the highest overall team in the land. Every year after a new draft, I'm going to be trading for all the best rookies. I'm going to trade all the best rookies and I'm going to sign them to the same deal. So as good as they want to get, that's fine with me because I could have them as 3rd string, 2nd string, maybe move them up to 1st string, whatever I want. The world's your oyster, guys. Now, with that being said, guys, you know the drill. Leave us a like and a comment down below. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes on this video. On top of that as well, guys, share this video out to as many people as you can, guys. Help us grow and make sure, guys, to have a damn good day. Tips for Gamers is out.